I feel like this mic situation's a bit unfair.
Yeah, I know. Too bad.
Why don't you have a second nice one? What the fuck?
Because I'm not made of money
Why not?
yet. I will be. We would both have them. No, stop.
You didn't think that I was gonna...
No, you can't actually press any more buttons. You can't. You can't do that again.
As if you weren't expecting me to do this.
You're not allowed to touch the buttons anymore.
But I know how this works.
I know, but I'll put it on the other side. If this is going to be an issue for you.
So throughout the entire thing...
You're not allowed to touch the buttons until after we
all.
play the game. Once we've played the game, you can do whatever you want and fuck with me, but up until that point, you can't.
Is that like early on or...
Well, it is when it is, and you just have to wait.
I don't know if we are recording. No, we're not.
We are, but it doesn't matter. We haven't started the show yet. It's recording, but
okay, cool.
the show doesn't start until I do my intro.
What are you going to do if I talk over this intro?
That's fine.
You're slowly realizing, fuck.
I'm not in
He's
control.
gonna-
All right. Let's start. Don't do that. This is going to be a nightmare.
Yes. A better nightmare of your creation.
All right. Welcome to another episode of the Fledge Cast. Again, we have a guest, an annoying guest that has already tried to ruin the show before it started, but a guest nonetheless. We are going to be talking about water polo. This is not a water polo podcast. I fucked up the intro. It took too long. We're doing it again. We're doing it again because I overthought it. Okay.
I'm under his skin.
Welcome to another episode of the Fledge Cast. We have a guest today. We're very lucky to have that guest. We're going to be talking about music. We're going to be talking about water polo. But this is not a water polo podcast. Welcome to the show. That was better.
It was. I'm still confused by the premise here. I still don't quite get
You don't
what
need to
we're
know
doing.
yet. We're just having a conversation. It's no big deal. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. My name is Nathan Barry. I am the host of this show. What's your name?
Nathan Barry, I'm the host of this show.
God damn it. What's your name when you're not trying to annoy me?
I feel like my name when I'm trying to know you is Jason McAway.
Thank you for being honest. I invited you onto this podcast because I want to talk about something that I know you're very passionate about, but that is something I know almost nothing about. And the reason I wanted to bring you on and talk about it is because I want to learn things that people are passionate about that aren't music. Because that's the thing I think about more than anything in the world is music and the arts and things. So I want to talk to people I like about their thing that isn't music and how music influences that, or how that thing that they love influences music. And I know that your thing is water polo. The first thing I want to ask you is how and why did you get into water polo? Because what the fuck? No offense.
That's pretty
Just
fair.
like, so it's so obscure to me.
Yeah, it is. It's a thing that I didn't know existed until I started doing it, to be honest.
How old were you?
11-ish.
Okay.
Thereabouts.
Yeah.
I was doing... Do you know what nippers is?
No. Is it like Auskick for water sports?
No. You know, like young surf life saving.
Oh, yeah.
As a little kid, it's like blue and yellow. You do the flags and the beach sprints and
Okay.
that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I was doing that in the summer, and it's fine, but it's not really a summer sport, and whatever, people might take offense to that, but I don't care. So I was looking for a summer sport to do because I did soccer in the winter, and I tried a bunch of different stuff, cricket and hockey, futsal. Didn't really take to anything. And then someone from Nippers was like, they came from a water polo family, which is a pretty common thing. Like most of the people in water polo play water polo because their parents or siblings play water polo, right?
Mm.
And they dragged me, not really convinced me, got me along to a game, and I just loved it from when I first started. Like I grew up swimming like a lot of kids do, and yeah, I played it and loved it and never stopped playing it.
Amazing. It's so interesting to me that
Have we spoken about this at all in any of us like hanging out or working?
no,
Right? Like I feel
not
like
really.
yeah, when you're doing the intro, I was thinking about have we like spoken about this at all?
Not really. I know so little about it, and I know so little about your connection to it as well, that I just want to learn. So I did some research for a little game we're going to play later. And I already learned so much about it in that short time that I did researching for the game. How is there, I don't know if this is going to make sense. Is there a cultural crossover between music and water polo? Like the type of music that water polo athletes listen to, is it of a similar niche in any way that you can, anecdotally recognize?
Not that I can pin down. The thing with at least the like little communities of like water polo is a small sport to begin with, right?
Mm.
Most people in the sport know who the other people in the sport are in general. But the people within the sport don't like, it's not like, oh, everyone's an architect or everyone's a lawyer or a doctor or a tradie or whatever. Like it's kind of people from all different sorts of jobs, at least more so down here in Melbourne, but like being from Newcastle, slightly different. Like water polo in Newcastle is more of like your weekend sport. Like you have a club that you go to, your club runs the day against another club. And that also might just be like in Newcastle, it's typically more working class people. So you get more working class people there. But then in Melbourne, water polo is like integrated in the private school system. So more people I know down here are like people who have gone through the private school system.
Okay.
But then also the club I'm at, because it's linked to the university, we get a lot of interstate, international people. So I do still meet other people in weird professions and people who aren't necessarily from Melbourne private schools.
How long were you playing in Newcastle before you moved down here to Melbourne?
7 or 8 years.
Okay.
So like from when I started to when I moved, pretty much.
Yeah. And how long does the game go for? I know nothing about it.
That's a difficult question to answer because it depends on the level and league that you're playing at.
Yeah.
In
how you play, what is when you go and play, how long do you play for? How many players per side?
So the players per side is a regular thing.
Okay.
You've got 7 on the field, including the goalkeeper, and then 6 on the bench, or up to. You don't have to have 6 on the bench, but if you're like proper competitive team, you'd have
You'll be
a
stacked.
full bench.
Yeah.
Which obviously doesn't happen when you're doing it as your casual sport week in, week out.
Yeah.
Game time at the moment in my games are 8-minute actual, and actual basically
Is that
means,
the countdown clock?
No, there is a shot clock like in basketball.
Okay.
Actual means basically there's running clock and there's actual. Generally, running clock, the amount of minutes per game is higher. So like you'd play like, I don't know, like 9 minutes running, and that's because the clock doesn't stop.
Yeah. Okay.
The shot clock does stop, but the game clock doesn't.
Right.
Whereas in actual, both the game clock and the shot clock stop every time there's a foul or a goal or something. So it doesn't keep ticking down when nothing's going on.
True. Interesting. So, I just thought of something that I thought would be interesting to ask. Oh, songs. So, the teams that you've played for, are there team songs that you sing?
No.
Is there that kind of culture?
Not that kind of culture. And I think because there's so many people from different walks of life, you don't have like everyone's homogenized music taste. It's all over the place. It's kind of, I don't really off the top of my head know anyone else who's like pursuing music and is also plays water polo.
Full on. So I mean, at the Olympics, they'd play the national anthem, right? To pump for the whatever
like
team.
pre getting into the water, yeah.
But with you, like at a community level or even a national level, there isn't like a team song like there is in footy or anything like that.
Not that I'm aware of. Maybe some of the National League clubs have some song or chant that I'm unaware of,
Okay.
but there's nothing that I'm aware of.
The clubs that you played for, what's the mascot scenario?
As in like obviously it's not like
the Parramatta Eels,
yeah,
the Richmond Tigers.
and so Melbourne Uni doesn't really have one. If you had to, it'd almost be like the winged angel thing, whatever. I don't even know what to call it, but
Yeah,
like
okay.
the weird thing they have. I played for Easts, who were octopuses,
Okay.
and Hunter Hurricanes,
Okay.
and
Bit of alliteration there.
yep.
I like that.
And then that's probably about
Is
it. Yeah.
Interesting.
I played for the same club team, or club teams in Newcastle until I moved, and then I've played for the same club since I've been down here.
So you've played for 2 clubs since starting.
Technically 3, but
Okay.
that's because there's like Newcastle local comp,
Yeah.
and then Hurricanes is like a team that like they're a National League team. Not that I played National League, but in junior level for Hurricanes, you go and play in like the Sydney comp and like state comp or national comp and that kind of thing.
Okay. What did you immediately like about it, and why? What do you like about it now that has made you stick to it?
Second question I can answer pretty easily. I don't know how to answer the first question
It's
of
tough to
what
analyze an 11-year-old's brain.
Yeah, and I don't know what it was or why I liked it so much or why I did. And like based on the fact that we haven't spoken about it, you probably don't know. I play goalkeeper. I don't play in the field.
Yeah.
And I had maybe half a quarter in the field in my first game and then got put in goals and have basically been there since.
True.
And it's, so
You don't have to go up and down so much then.
fuck no. It's
I
just,
don't know how.
it's just treading water for me.
Yeah. So why do you do it? Why do you still love it and pursue it?
There's a few things. I like having a physical outlet, and water polo is a very physical game.
Yeah.
And can be. And I love being in the water in general, so it's like a really good reason to get in the water 2 or 3 times a week.
Yeah.
And like the game itself is really fun. It's really like a technical game. I really like understanding how it works and whatnot because of, technical rules and whatnot. And there's a big social aspect of it because it is a niche kind of sport and you do know a lot of people. It's the kind of sport where you get in the water, people bash each other up and then they get out and go to the pub with each other, have a beer. And like, it's kind of like mostly left in the water, like not always, but mostly.
Yeah.
And just the social aspect of, being in a team. It's also really nice. The team that I'm in is full of people who aren't just musicians and people in the same place of life as me. So it's cool to talk to them about what they're up to, hear about how other people live their life. And, there are people that I'm playing with that I've played with since I moved to Melbourne, like 11 years ago.
Yeah.
And, I could go back to Newcastle and go and get a beer with people who I played with from when I was like 14-year-old. And, that's not necessarily people who were 14 when I'm 14. I'm talking about like 50-year-olds who I played with when I was 14. I could go and get a drink with and catch up with. And
that's awesome.
like, it's just a really nice community. I really like the water polo community. And also like, it's a, like in terms of like liking the sport as well, it's like a fun way to somewhat keep fit and active and a reason to keep being physical. And
yeah. Does it, mentioned just then that it's because it's a niche community, everyone kind of knows everyone. Does it feel gate kept in a way in that regard, or is it a welcoming thing? It already sounds like it's kind of welcoming in the fact that you could catch up with people you played with 10 years ago.
I think it depends on who you know and what club you go to, but
Okay.
like broad blanket statement, I would say it's pretty welcoming.
Yeah, nice.
It's typically been my experience. I have heard other things, but again, I think it's, in something that's not as homogenized as like soccer or footy, bigger personalities stand out more because there's, less people around and it's easier to find personalities that clash with each other. And in the most part, I'd say it's all pretty good and accepting, and most people are there to have a good time and like get other people involved to have a good time.
Cool. Over the years of playing, have there been the team, whether it's in your 10 years in Melbourne or your 10 years in Newcastle, have there been a team that there's this healthy rivalry that you know before you play them that it's going to be really close or really heated compared to some other team? Because I remember when I played footy when I was like 14 and really shouldn't have been playing footy. Every time we played against one particular team on a Friday night, I knew it was going to be brutal.
Again, slightly difficult to answer. So like Newcastle local comp, because I played Hurricanes, you play with people from the other teams that are your age in the team.
Okay.
So every weekend, if you're at like your home game or their home game, there was basically someone in the other team that you knew from playing with them in like rep water polo.
Yeah.
So it kind of made it more intense because like knowing someone, you especially goalkeeper, you don't want to let them score on you, that kind of vibe.
Mm-hmm.
But nothing like super intense or fiery. And then Hurricane, same thing. Like when you do Hurricanes, if you make some kind of CHS or New South Wales, some kind of other representative team, and you meet people from other clubs, it's like tends to be, from my experience, when you're playing against people that you know against, there's more. It feels like there's more on the line as opposed to just playing against like faceless NPCs who it's like you could be anyone and it doesn't matter.
Yeah, okay.
There's definitely one team in Melbourne that we always are within a goal or two of, either way, depending on how it goes. But that's fun. But again, it's not like super aggressive or angry or anything like that. It's just play styles that work well against each other, I guess.
Yeah. It sounds really healthy, to be honest.
Maybe, but I also am biased in telling you about this because I love the sport and play it.
Yeah. It sounds healthy for you, which is great. That's fantastic.
Most of the time.
Yeah.
It's like anything, you get frustrated with it and have your moments.
Yeah. Is there anything that you don't think people would know about water polo that you think they should?
That it exists.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know. That's a tough one because you meet a bunch of people who don't even know what it is, and then people, you get a spectrum. Some people are like, I played in high school or I played when I was younger and like know all about it, and other people are like, I know what it is, but I know a lot of people who know what it is. They're like, why does the whistle go off so often? And it's just because
Why does the whistle go off so often?
Unlike most sports, you giving away a foul is not a bad thing. It's just a part of the game.
Okay.
So there's so many ways to give a foul. It doesn't matter. Basically what it is the shot clock stops.
Uh-huh.
The attacking team gets to like restart, and then the shot clock keeps going.
Okay. So that could happen for a whole number of reasons.
Yeah, pretty much. And it's not inherently a bad thing. It's just literally a part of the game. And it's so different to, pretty much any other sport. It's like never give a foul, don't do this, whatever.
It's like, it's going to happen.
Kind of, but
Don't
I mean
beat
there are
yourself up.
limits. Like there is still you can get major
Don't
fouls.
eye gouge someone.
If that was to happen, you get a major foul or potentially even a red card. But basically it's like basketball where there's a set amount of major fouls you can get, and then you're out for the game.
Okay.
So it's not like fouling's normal, go for your life, hit
No.
people.
Yeah.
There is still
Because if you're flapping
limit.
about in the water, like it's surely impossible to stop yourself from whacking someone's shoulder as you're reaching for the ball,
Oh,
or like
stuff
trying
like-
to keep
yeah,
yourself
yeah,
afloat.
no.
And then that thing, is that like a lower level foul?
yeah, like incidental contact when there's not meant to be
Perfect
contact.
word. Yeah.
Totally just a foul. But like incidental contact with someone's head, still probably a major foul. Like
Okay.
by the letter of the law, not that it's always called that way.
Okay. Interesting. I feel like I'm learning a lot. I want to come and watch you play.
Did you watch any when the Olympics were on recently?
No.
Didn't do enough research then.
No, I didn't. I hadn't conceived of this idea yet.
Yeah.
Maybe I would have. The Paralympics are on now. Is there a Paralympic water polo team?
Don't think so, but I would love to be proven wrong on that.
All right, let's
I
find out.
don't definitively know, but I don't think so.
We'll take a little break. We'll find out.
And come back.
And after the
and
break, we'll
shame
tell
me.
you whether there's a water polo team in the Paralympics. Before we go to the break, I have to let you know that this episode of the Fledge Cast was brought to you by Materia.
That's what I was going to say is a meme, but you actually said it.
Materia are a fantastic band that I've had the pleasure of seeing a few times now. And I've spoken to you about them a couple of times, which is
Yeah,
I
which
feel like
makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Have Materia got anything on the horizon, gig or release that you can talk about?
We've got an EP. We don't have a date for it.
Okay.
I don't know really. We have an EP at some point soon.
All right.
Before the end of the year, I guess. Is
Well, that'll
probably a
line up
definitive.
perfectly because I don't know when these are coming out. So,
So
thank
when
you,
this is out, the EP will have been out for like 6 months.
No, it's not going to be that delayed. Keep your eyes and ears peeled for Materia releasing their new EP. Do we know the name of it? We can't.
Materia.
Oh, self-titled EP.
Self-titled EP.
Keep an eye and an ear
Fancy.
out for the self-titled Materia EP. And thank you. We'll be back with the info that I just told you we're going to give you.
We're actually going to look it up, I assume.
Yeah.
Do you unironically do that to enter the second segment as well?
Nah.
Okay.
I will come up with other stings for in between certain things. Even just what we just did, I might put stings in between certain bits. But I don't know yet. That's why I'm building a bank. So
That definitely feels like it'll be more editing than just letting it go.
Yeah. You can't touch this one, but you can touch those three.
Is that you and Jack?
Nah, it's the boys from Auntie Donna and then Hamish and Andy as well. I just got random YouTube clips of them. And this is like 5 different concert performances that I smashed together. Goes for over a minute. So I can just have it as a bed. Anyway.
Interesting. I don't know why you would want that. I would love to hear why you would want that.
Well, it just works so well with this. So that when it drops in, I can be like, that's great.
Is that what you do?
It hypes me up. Yeah, I forgot before.
Yeah, right.
But I did with the first one. I'm practicing, I'm getting better. And we're back. Thank you for listening to those ads. There probably weren't any ads, but maybe one day. Before we went to the break, we told you that we would find out whether water polo is a Paralympic sport. Turns out it is not yet a Paralympic sport, but maybe one day it will be. We're going to jump into a game now. I devised this game this morning when I thought about it yesterday and then I created it this morning. You know the rules already, obviously.
Sure.
You're gonna be asked some questions.
Go fish.
No, shut up. If you
Uno.
if you
Yahtzee.
answer the question correctly, you will hear this. If you answer it incorrectly, you will hear this.
Sure.
Oh, you didn't need to hear that twice. You already knew. I'm gonna ask you these questions after the intro that I made.
Okay.
Getting in the pool, I'm gonna shoot some goals. Probably not, I'll just focus on not drowning. It's polo, it's water polo, water polo, water polo, polo. Don't know how they do it, but man, we're gonna learn. Just listen to the quiz and then it'll be your turn for polo, water polo, it's water polo, it's water polo, polo. Yeah.
You were setting high expectations for every guest you have on doing that.
I'll be able to. There'll be something. It's a good start for now.
Like, it's funny, but man, that is high expectations.
I know. I'd imagine if I book a guest the day before.
Yeah.
But I made that like a couple of hours ago.
Yeah, I'm not surprised by that. That's very you, but still, like that. It's fine if you have an idea. If you don't, you're like, "Fuck, what am I doing?
What am I going to do? What
Yeah.
am I going to do?" With the last... this is getting too bad. I'm not going to talk about the last episode. Let's move into the game. When was water polo first played between two countries?
God. 38.
1938?
Yeah.
1890.
There you go.
Do you know the two countries that it was?
My guess would be something like Serbia, Croatia.
Scotland and England.
Okay, there you go.
It was 4-0.
I don't even know if Serbia and Croatia existed as countries back in 18 whatever.
I doubt it.
I think they were probably still part of the Soviet Union, right?
It depends who you ask. Don't ask me because I don't know. Okay.
Well, you don't know.
All right. I'm the host. I can't be wrong. What was water polo originally colloquially called?
Fucking hell. You've gone for some obscure things I don't think most water polo players would know.
Good.
Something like water rugby or something dumb like that.
Oh, close. Football in the water.
Yeah.
That second sound effect was for me. I got it right.
No, you didn't. You read it off your answer sheet.
Football in the water, which is cool, I think. I don't know if it's cool. Anyway, when was it first played in the Olympics?
Oh, that's probably more likely to be like 1936.
1900.
1900, there you go.
Paris.
Is that when the first Olympics were brought back?
The second?
Is that the second?
I think so.
Oh, yeah, because the first one would have been in Greece, right?
Yeah. Don't know. Probably, yeah.
Interesting bit of trivia. But anyway, Nathan.
You're a sporty man. By 1911, all countries played by the same rules, roughly.
Did they? Okay.
Vaguely, like that's when there was like a international rule book created.
Was this FINA or pre-FINA? I assume
FINA,
pre-FINA.
yeah.
Is FINA that old?
Yeah, apparently.
Damn.
So all of the world roughly were playing by the same rules, but women's water polo wasn't Olympic until
2000.
Sydney 2000. Yeah.
Because Australia won with 30 seconds to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that. Oh, and I didn't know the fact that a big part of the reason why the women became part of the Olympics in water polo was due to the Aussie women's team protesting.
Didn't know about that. That's cool.
Which is so interesting. I found all this on the FINA, like historical part of their website, which is really cool.
Yeah.
What is FINA?
It's like the governing body of the sport.
It's like FIFA.
Yeah, except it's not just water polo, it's water sports. So it governs like swimming and...
All aquatic sports and stuff like that, right? Cool. That's amazing. Who is the world record holder for most goals scored in an international game?
My guess would be Dennis Varga.
The greatest number of goals scored by an individual in an international game is 13 by Debbie Handley for Australia. So that was in Ecuador in 1982, apparently. This is according to Guinness Book of World Records.
Oh, that's...
So I don't know how up to date it is. That's
I
where
also don't know if I trust Guinness, but
yeah,
also...
that's where I got that answer from, so don't sue me. All right, this is a bit of a tricky question. How many people play water polo?
Like at once? What do you mean?
I'm giving you no more context than that.
What?
How many people
worldwide?
Yeah, actually, yeah. I'll go let you know worldwide. How many people play water polo worldwide?
Fuck me. Like an 8 billion population.
Imagine you
What's
got it
even
on
like
your head.
1% of 8 billion?
Don't know.
10% is like... Let's go like 100,000. No, it's going to be more than that, right? Let's go 300,000.
You were closer, but still a little bit off. Oh, I forgot this question.
You can't. No, you got to tell me the answer
This
first.
question actually has 3 options. I forgot to tell you. A, 7. B, 35 million. Or C, 478,791.
The C. Look,
Beautiful.
out of a scale
You
of
nailed
0
it.
to 8 billion, 100,000 and 300,000 is a pretty
It's
good
pretty
guess.
close. Yeah, you nailed it. And I didn't even give you the fucking... Anyway, the 2019 FINA report puts it as C, 478,791.
I wonder how they measure that.
Yeah. So apparently they sent out, please reply to this survey to all 209 of their federation members, and 197 responded with data from their countries.
Yeah, but even then,
It's not
I guess
gonna
it's
be
like
perfect.
the most accurate you could get, but that's also a
Exactly.
really hard thing to just
So
measure in
tough.
the first place.
But apparently, so B, 35 million is the amount of registered aquatic athletes worldwide.
Yeah, swimming and a bunch of other sports like that.
Apparently.
That checks out. Yeah,
And
I wouldn't have guessed it, but it seems right.
of the nearly 500,000 water polo players, about 35,000 of them are elite. Apparently. So I just found that
Man,
interesting.
what do they define as elite? Because there's like what,
Tell me.
13 or let's round that to 15 for a nice number per Olympic team, and then there's 10 and 8, so that's like 150.
Welcome to the
That's
maths
only-
segment of
That's
the
I mean, you're
Fledge
throwing
Cast.
numbers at me.
I
I'm going to put
know,
it in
I
context.
know.
That's 30,000. That's like a pretty broad number compared to how many people actually play the Olympics. I wonder how they measure that and
Yeah.
what classifies as elite. Is that just like top leagues in all the countries that play water polo? Because the top
I'm going to
league,
say yes.
but like the top league in Australia, no offense to Australia, would not be competitive with most of like Eastern Europe leagues.
Probably not.
So
What's the best country? Do you know what
that
the
would be a
best-
debatable
Okay.
thing.
Mm.
But
Who did the best at the most recent Olympics? Do you know?
women, Spain beat Australia in the gold medal match, and
Okay.
then I'm blanking on the men's match.
I don't have internet, so we'll tell you next week.
I'll just look it up. I don't care.
All right.
I can't remember. Why can I not remember?
Don't know.
It was like, what, 3 weeks ago, if that?
While you're looking up, I just want to say thank you for being a part of that game.
Is that it? Is that all of them?
That was the quiz. That was the 5 questions from Water Polo.
Getting in the pool, I'm gonna shoot some balls. Probably not, I'll just focus on not drowning. It's polo, it's water polo, water polo, water polo.
Will I get sued for that?
You potentially could.
Oh, well.
Serbia, and they beat Croatia. But from memory, oh man, I think it was a hot mess because Serbia lost a couple of like round games, but then won when it mattered in the finals, and like the whole crossover of the men's was like very not what people expected.
Okay. I have...
But also in the women's, the USA didn't go for gold in a row. They lost, which was unexpected.
So they won the last 3 years and...
The last 3 Olympics, and
Not
then
years,
like
yeah.
yeah, but then like all the previous world champs and stuff as well, and then yeah, they lost once or twice in their round games, and then lost. They didn't even get a medal. They came 4th,
True.
and they're expected, as far as I'm aware, they're expected to get gold.
Damn. Not to be.
Not to me.
Not to be.
Sorry, I cut off your question, and I shouldn't have.
It's totally fine. You're forgiven. I think you kind of touched on this before, but it's the kind of the last talking point that I have that I'm interested in is what kind of expression, like self-expression or release, do you get from water polo compared to playing music?
I think that's more what it is. It's not music. It's very different to music. I know you kind of started off asking about how they relate, and I kind of think they don't.
Okay.
Which
Is that the main draw card? Is that it's
I don't know if
separate?
it's like the main draw card, but it's nice to have a variety and to not like, as much as I love music, if it was like 24/7 the only thing I did, I don't think I would like it as much.
Okay.
And I like, music is and can be physical, but not in the same way that water polo is. And it's external structure for me to turn up to training, turn up to games.
Yeah.
Again, being in a band is somewhat similar to a team, but like not quite the same as like playing a team sport.
Especially who's the coach, like you or another band member has to organize the rehearsals, the meetings, everything, the recording sessions, all of that stuff. Whereas in your water polo side of stuff, I'm assuming you're not the one who's deciding when training is, are you?
No. And like, I have been involved in the committee of the club to some extent, pretty much the entire time I've been with like Melbourne Uni.
Cool.
But yeah, like that's what I mean. And like, it's just nice to have that, like, oh, I have to turn up at this time to do this thing, or I miss out on doing it, because you build it into your schedule and you do it. Whereas like, yeah, something like music is a bit nebulous, and you can go and do it whenever or not do it whenever.
Yeah.
And I don't think it relates to, like, from my experience, I don't think it really relates to my music at all. I think it's
That's
kind of
so
very not opposite, but just disconnected from it.
It's in its own world.
Mm.
Because I know I've seen you play. You get sweaty on stage. You get really into it, and it's a physical thing for you. But obviously, the water polo is just on another level, and it's you're in your body doing the thing.
You also don't notice that you're getting sweaty when you play water polo because you're in a pool.
Yeah,
which is also very nice.
Very different.
Yeah.
Wow. That like, I saw the words coming out of your mouth, but as you said it, of like, they're actually not related. And that's such a nice revelation for me to be like, because for me, I think I want this podcast to be about, I guess, not about how they're connected, but if the thing you love other than music is somehow connected to music. Because last week when I was talking to Jack about running, it was about, what do you listen to something while you're running? What is it? And how does it influence how you do the sport? So for someone who is a musician, I wondered whether those things connected,
I'm not at all inclined to write a song about water polo.
No, but on the way there, do you listen to anything to pump you up? I'm obviously not going to listen to stuff in the pool.
Depends on my mood. Like, sometimes if I feel like I want it, but like, that's just me listening to music, right? It depends on my mood and depends on what I want anyway.
Yeah.
I don't have like a
polo playlist
or like a song that I have to listen to before I play or anything like that. I'm just treating it how I normally would treat music, where what am I actually in the mood for, and what do I want to listen to? I want something high energy, or do I want something that's chilled out?
True.
So yeah, I don't think there ever has been for me some like connection between the two. I think
that's great.
Very separate in my brain.
That's so cool, because then you can just have that and not let it be so lucid and unsure of itself like music can be for all of us, that artistic side of us that, like you said before, you can do it or you can not do it, and there's no set structure to it when you're the one that's driving the thing, So it's cool that you have something that you can.
To some extent, I will say that I run the goalkeeper sessions at the club.
Right.
So like, not the entire training, and it's it's just leg work, and I've been doing goalkeeper stuff for so long that like it's totally fine. It's not a big thing that I really have to think about. But I had a point to this and it's gone. But like, it's not like I'm just turning up and like, clocking in and then clocking out.
Yeah.
Like I'm still.
You do have some creative control.
Yeah, and I do care about it. I do put effort in, and like I said, I like that it's something that's organized that I have to go to at a certain time, and I like the camaraderie of it all. But I still do really care about it in like if I didn't, I wouldn't do it. Like, if I wasn't getting something out of it, I wouldn't be doing it, because it'd be such a waste of time and effort. Like, I could go and do some other exercise that doesn't cost as much, that doesn't require relying on other people to turn up to a game so that we have a team to play. The whole thing of being a team sport is that it's not just you, it's everyone. Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing. Well, I think we'll wrap it up there. Thank you so much for talking to me about
No worries.
this thing that you love. I would love to have you on again at some point to talk about this or anything else that I can pick your brain about. And I really appreciate you coming and doing this with me.
It's honestly not a problem. Thank you for having me, and you know that you can ask me to be on this whenever you want.
Thanks. Love to hear it. I'm going to save that, timestamp that bit.
Yeah, that's totally
and
fine.
be able to send it to you if you ever change your mind. Okay.
Yeah, I won't though.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Fledge Cast. I hope you're having a fantastic time right now, whatever you're doing. Don't forget to flush. I'll see you next week. Okay, goodbye. I'm gonna make an outro song, I reckon. I just did that. There's something to press.
Swell the noise.
Yeah.